Okay, the cast of Anybody for Tea is Dennis O'Finn, Nathan Lazouk, Kramer, Don Taruk, Captain Williams, Arlen Reimer, Hildegard, Alicia Cumbers, Amantha, Sarah Kreindler, Birdie, Elizabeth Lampier, Nettie, Shannon Barralook, and Elizabeth, Jill Smith. Lucy was Jennifer Charney. The director, Mr. Gerard Gill. Stage manager, Karen Bruce. Production assistants were Jamie Coffin, Amy Ines, and Angela Sharman. The makeup was done by Mrs. Greta Palin, Mrs. Joanne Albee, Charmaine Fast, Jennifer Reimer, Shirley Wirch, and Christine Norton. The acknowledgements, Mr. Rob Dalgleish, Mr. Jeff Williams, Mr. Daryl Adams, Mrs. Jean Mabey, and Mrs. Heidi Bank.
Good evening. My name is Gerard Gill. I'm the drama instructor at Arthur A. Leach, and on behalf of the school and the cast, I'd like to thank you for coming out on such a cold winter's evening to see our production. It's a one-act play entitled Anybody for Tea, and the 9 cast members have been working hard on it the better part of 7 weeks, and I must say people involved in this production, the students I've been working with 3 or 4 times a week, are just a delight to work with, and it's been a real pleasure for me, maybe with me too, I hope. But just a delightful group. They're always upbeat, energetic, and it's always nice to work with students like that. A couple of things you have to know about the production. We're having a little bit of trouble with lights. We're blowing fuses. So we'll have a collective crossing of fingers a little bit later on. And I'm going to use these as these singular. I'm going to use this as oh, there it goes. As one of the lights. Our play takes place in 2 places: the police department and inside of a house. When the act is taking place at the police department, please be looking over here. You'd be cheating if you looked over here during that, because technically in a theater you're not supposed to see the house at that time. So bear with me on that. Thanks again for coming out. Let's take them off.
Oh, Finn, what do you want? Don't you realize it's midnight?
I know it is, Captain Williams, but I saw the lighter in your office, and I thought it'd be all right.
Well, what do you want? I'm a busy man.
It's my request for a transfer, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's silly business. Dennis Patrick O'Finn, age 40, bachelor, 12 years in uniform on the beat, 7 years in homicide division, present rank detective, first class. Request transfer to arson squad. Do you even know what the arson squad does?
Well, it investigates fires, sir.
Good. Reason for request, personal. Would you explain that, O'Finn?
Please, Captain. It's private, personal.
O'Finn, you've seen 7 years' experience in homicide. You're no Sherlock Holmes, but you seem to have the luck of the Irish, so you've done a good job. We don't need anybody in arson, so why should I transfer you?
It's a matter of life and death.
Explain.
Do I have to?
You want the transfer?
Captain, will you keep this confidential?
Of course I will.
Word of honor?
Word of honor.
Well then, Captain, it was like this. You see, there is this house, 909 Sycamore. A house about 100 years old. And it was straight across the street from my apartment buildings. Now, since it being nice weather and all, I left the shade up while I was shaving. Now, in this house, there are 6 old spinsters, ladies. Peeping Toms, that's what they were, Captain.
Elizabeth, what's he doing now?
He's in his undershirt.
Can you see that strawberry mark on his shoulder?
Clear as day. Oh, it's a beautiful strawberry mark.
I want to see for myself.
He has such big muscles. Oh, do you know what he's doing now?
What? Tell us.
Calisthenics.
What kind?
With big dumbbells. He's swinging them up and down and out and back.
Oh, I can just picture him.
He stopped for a minute now. He's inhaling. Oh, you should see his chest.
Oh, I want to see his belly. Oh, nice.
Now he's squaring his shoulders. Oh, his shoulders, they're so broad.
Don't torture us, Elizabeth.
Now he's flexing his biceps. They're swelling up, bent up, bent up.
Oh, stop it. I can't stand it anymore.
Give me those binoculars.
We should all have a turn.
They're my binoculars.
It's my window because it's my house.
It's my turn.
Never mind now. He's finished with his exercises and he's disappeared.
It was a grand sight. If only we could afford more powerful binoculars.
I'd like to really see him. We've sat on the porch and watched him go in and out, but I mean really see him up close.
So would I. Why, we don't even know what color his eyes are.
If you don't know, nobody knows. You have the binoculars most of the time. I'd like to hear his voice, too.
Well, how can we get close to him unless we actually go across the street and what, Nettie? Well, couldn't we pay him a neighborly visit? Nettie, nice ladies do not go visiting gentlemen. Well, then let's invite him to tea. That would be improper, inviting a gentleman to tea when we haven't been introduced. Well, what can we do then?
We'll have to make him come over. We'll have to arrange it somehow.
How? If he was a plumber, we could stop up the sink. If he was an electrician, we could blow a fuse.
But he isn't a plumber or an electrician. He's a detective in homicide.
Well, how can we arrange for a detective in homicide to come to this house?
That's simple. All we need is a body.
A body?
A dead body, that is.
Well, where on earth are we going to get a dead body?
I wasn't there, Captain. That's the way I've reconstructed how it happened. You can see, can't you? It was no fault of mine. Believe in the Shada.
Are you trying to tell me that just for the sake of your charming company?
I'm not meaning to boast, sir, but I wouldn't have believed it myself. These poor old dears, so desperately lonely. Spinsters, every one. Getting a little old and touched in the head.
I think I still have your report on the case here. Well, I can't seem to find it now. I guess you're just going to have to refresh my memory.
Well, Captain, it wasn't long before, sure enough, there was a dead body. But by the time they called homicide, and Kramer and I had gotten there, well, Captain, well, it seemed the crime looked like, well, nothing I ever saw before.
Doesn't she look pretty?
I must admit, it was very generous of you all to give her your best things to wear. She deserves it. Wasn't it nice of her giving us this chance to meet Mr. Open?
Oh yes, that's why I sacrificed my precious pearls.
Isn't my hat becoming to her?
Do you think they'll bury her in my feather boa?
I suppose so. I mean, all those pretty things gone to waste. No, I didn't mean that. Forgive and forget. I'll just give her a little whiff of my perfume that she was always trying to steal.
Oh, that must be
I'm
him!
going to soon.
Don't you dare! Everybody behave themselves. Line up for introductions. And nobody step on those dishes I dropped. Remember the rule, nothing must be touched at the scene of the crime. But we touched the body.
We had to. Elizabeth went and got herself poison in her Burstall house dress.
Is somebody going to the door?
I will. I thought Mr. O'Finn was coming.
My name's Kramer. Old Finn's just parking the car. And that, Captain, was when I walked into the trap. Well, what do we have here?
Mr. O'Finn?
That's myself. Now, is this the house where the lady died?
It is.
Where's the body?
Isn't he masterful? I'm Hildegard Hodge, Mr. O'Finn. This is my house, and I'm the one who called.
How do you do?
Oh, you poor boy. You look a little peaked. You haven't been eating the right things, have you? That's the way with you bachelors.
Bachelor?
You're not married, are you?
Well, no.
Good, then you're unattached.
Now look, lady, you're not the one that's supposed to be asking the questions. I am. Where is the body?
First, you must meet my boarders. This is Nettie Norton. Oh, you have such a strong grip, Mr. O'Finn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?
Oh no, I just loved it. I felt just like I was one of your dumbbells.
What is
I'm Amanda Augustine. Oh, Mr. O'Finn, you so strong.
What?
Squeeze a little harder.
Honest lady, I didn't
That's
mean
the way with you, He-Man. You never know your own strength.
I'm with your mom, Mr. O'Finn. You remind me of my Herbert.
Who?
A beau of mine, but he's dead now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. I'm out of mourning now. Besides, he wasn't nearly as handsome as you are. Oh, Mr. O'Finn, you are so handsome. Oh, you see, you're like a bull. Mr. O'Finn, I'm pretty Beauregard.
What's the matter?
I think I'm going to swoon.
Will somebody get her a glass of water or something?
Would you catch me if I swoon?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
In your strong, muscular arms.
Bertie, show him Elizabeth.
Mr. O'Finn, this is Elizabeth Ellsworth.
Is she dead?
We wouldn't have given her all of our pretty things if she was alive now, would we?
She's dead all right, Kramer. Call the meat wagon. Probably heart attack or something. Ladies, I'm afraid you made a mistake in calling homicide. You see, every time somebody just kills over, we're not supposed to come and look at the body. It's only if the death has occurred under suspicious circumstances. Natural death isn't in our line. Let's go, Kramer.
That wasn't a natural death.
She was poisoned!
Murder! What? Who says she was murdered?
We all do.
What makes you think so?
Elizabeth was as strong and as healthy as a horse. She didn't just keel over. You have the doctor do what's that they do?
Autopsy.
That's right, autopsy. And then you'll see.
What makes you so sure? Who did it? Did you all do it together?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Mr. O'Finn, you're supposed to find out who did it. You're the detective.
All right now, you say there's been a murder committed. One of yous in this room committed that murder. Who else? Now, let's see here. They playing a game or what?
One thing for sure, that's the real body.
Maybe then, we better get the facts, just in case.
You're the boss.
All right now, I'm going to be asking a few questions.
Ooh, we're going to get the 3rd degree.
We'll start with the body. You didn't find a hair decked out like this now, did you?
Oh, no. We had to dress Elizabeth up for the occasion.
Occasion? What occasion?
Gentlemen callers.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We couldn't leave Elizabeth sprawled out on the floor with gentlemen coming, could
If
we?
there's been a murder, nothing should have been touched at the scene of the crime.
Isn't he wonderful when he's mad?
I told you so. You're right.
We didn't touch everything. There's the broken dishes Hildegard dropped. Then she discovered the body.
You discovered the body,
I was bringing in the tea things, and I found Elizabeth on the floor.
and you were so surprised you dropped the dishes.
And then she screamed. We heard her upstairs.
Yes, and we all kind of knew what it meant.
What is all this? now, there's been a murder committed, and one of you's in that room committed that murder.
Well, who else would?
Now, thing to look for, any murder, is the motive. Who would want to kill such a poor old lady here?
Well, someone had to be murdered, and I'm glad it was Elizabeth.
So, then what did you have against Elizabeth?
Well, she was so selfish with the binoculars.
Binoculars? What's this about binoculars?
Shame on you, Nettie.
Oh, sorry! I didn't mean to! Come on now, out with it. What is this business about binoculars?
Hey, oh, Finn, maybe that's what they're talking about.
Well, here they are. But what do you mean?
Don't make us tell you to, Mr. O'Finn.
Kramer, what do you think?
You're using the look-through. Hey, oh, Finn! Long-distance specs like that are for looking at things outdoors.
Oh, yeah, sure. I knew that. Well, the only thing I can see from here is my apartment building. Hey, look at that! I can even see my own windows.
Girls, come help me in the kitchen. It's time for tea. Oh, Finn, I just made a brilliant deduction. I see the gimmick, don't you?
What are you talking about?
You're supposed to be a detective, Dennis, my lad, but it's your modesty that's blinding you. Now here are these poor old dames who have nothing to do all day but just sit around. So, one of them has a pair of these sailor's glasses, and they spend their time looking through the window with them, minding everyone else's business because they don't have any business of their own. And what do they see straight across the street? A window. And what's in that window? A man. And what finer specimen of manhood is there than an Irish cop? Ah, you're a beautiful creature to behold, Dennis O'Finn. They're all in love with you.
Shut up!
But how are these old ladies three across the street? You, a detective in homicide, elementary, my dear old
It's a
Finn.
dirty lie!
But you're the motive for this murder.
You can't prove
Do you
that!
want proof? Well, here it comes.
We're having a party, Mr. O'Finn. It's a fresh package of tea. I'm sure there's no rat poison in it.
My best tea things, Mr. O'Finn. But there are only 6 cups. There isn't any for Mr. Kramer. I can take a hint. 6 is company and 7's a crowd. I think I'll have a beer on my way home. Ta-ta, Dennis, darling. Don't drink too much of that tea. It's terrible strong stuff.
Kramer was right. He committed murder just to get you inside the house.
It seems like it, Captain.
Did you conduct an investigation?
I did. I found her out there's an arsenic rat poison in the house. The dead lady had drunk it in her tea. You see, every afternoon, she'd sneak down for an extra cup, and somebody had just mixed in the poison and had it waiting for her.
Who's guilty?
That they didn't try to help me out much, Captain, because they wanted to keep me hanging around. So, I tried some strategy. I told them I decided there hadn't been a murder after all, and I wasn't going to come back no more.
How did that strategy work?
Miserable, Captain! Miserable!
It's been a whole week now.
A whole week and not a trace of him. Going in and out the back way and keeping his shades down.
We ought to complain to the police, but we don't want to get Mr. O'Finn in trouble. But Elizabeth really was murdered, and Mr. O'Finn ought to be right here this minute investigating.
We'll just have to do what we talked about.
You mean we need another murder?
Well, Mr. O'Finn couldn't pretend 2 old ladies murdered in the same house was a coincidence.
Oh dear, who shall it be? Nettie?
She's the most convenient. She's always the last to come downstairs for tea.
Poor Nettie, she's such a kind soul. She's the only one of you I really like.
You'd rather to use you, dear.
Well, I wouldn't want to miss the fun when Mr. O'Finn comes back.
It'll have to be Nettie, then.
All right, but after this, we've got to get some new boarders. I'd rather we poison a stranger anytime.
Do we have any more poison? Mr. O'Finn's got all kind of rat poison as Exhibit B. I bought a new one.
Good. You go get it, Hildegard. And I have a suggestion. We all hide our eyes. Then we go to the tea table one at a time. Whoever poisoned Elizabeth can put a spoonful of poison in Nettie's cup.
Oh, goody! Then it'll still be a mystery. Let's hurry before Nettie gets here. Who's first?
You, Bertie.
All right. Which one's Nettie's cup?
The one with the nick in the rim. She did that herself, and I can't afford to always be buying new cups.
For pity's sake, Birdie, put the poison in the right cup.
What a perfect chance for a double cross. A double cross. How do you like that? It's slang among criminals. But of course, I didn't poison anybody. I couldn't even poison a rat.
Oh, don't play innocent. Are you finished?
I'm back home. It's your turn, Lucy.
I don't need to go. I couldn't use the poison. You all know I couldn't hurt a fly.
You're not fooling anybody, Lucy. I've known all along it was you who poisoned Elizabeth.
That's not so. Stop teasing her, Amantha. Let's get this over with. Now hurry up, Lucy.
Listen to her old bones creak.
That's not my bones. It's the floor. I'd like to poison you, Amantha. That's who I'd like to poison.
Well, not today, Lucy. We'll save Amantha for some other time.
I'm not drinking any more tea in this house. I don't trust anybody.
Lucy, aren't you finished yet? You've taken long enough to poison all of us. I'm back at home base now, and I didn't use the poison.
I'm starting now.
Hurry up with it.
I feel just like Lucrezia Borgia.
Do you think she's doing it?
Of course she is. She's bloodthirsty. She's the guilty one. Remember, my dears, the guilty one is the one who brought dear Mr. O'Finn into our midst.
That's right. Thank you very much, guilty one, whoever you are.
I'm back now. Your turn, Hildegard.
All right. Well, I'm the last one, so I guess I'll take the rat poison and hide it.
Good idea, Hildegard. We shouldn't leave the rat poison right on the table. It might make Nettie suspicious.
All right, I'm finished. Let's all sit and do try to act normal.
Just in time. I hear Letty coming down the front stairs.
You started tea without me again? I hope you left a body some tea.
They committed another murder just to get you back to the house.
That they did, Captain. And don't think I didn't take it to heart. Being the motive of the murder like I was. Well, they put in another call for Kramer, Roy. And well, you might have guessed. There they were again, waiting for him in the reception line. It's about time you're getting here, O'Finn. You should know by now that this is our regular Tuesday stop. Another one, eh?
That's right. There's a murderer loose in this house. We demand police protection.
Looks to me like the police need the protection. But don't you see what happens, O'Finn, when you neglect your duty and don't come by this house for tea every day? Something always seems to get into the tea when you're not here. Oh, you needn't remind me, Kramer. Well, this time, I'm not going to budge from this house till I find out who's guilty.
Oh, wonderful. Mr. O'Finn is going to live here with us.
It would be proper. We've always just had lady boarders.
It's up to me to say what's proper in this house.
Please let him stay, Hildegard. There are 2 rooms big enough. He could have his choice.
Well, we could see that he eats the right things, couldn't we? But he'd have to pay just like anyone else. In fact, He'd have to pay double because he'd eat twice as much.
Oh, Hildegard, you're so mercenary.
I'm a poor woman.
Poor, you're an old miser. Well, if Mr. O'Finn has to pay double, then he should have both rooms. One room could be his gymnasium, and we could do his exercises there, and we could watch, and we could see a strawberry market game.
Ladies! Stop!
Let's get down to business. Kramer, who makes sure we have a dead body?
Oh, she's dead all right. We can guarantee that.
Well, thank you! Ladies, if I could get your attention, there'll be no more tea parties. There's been another murder committed, and I want to find out who did it.
Oh, no. We don't know, because we all hit our eyes.
Kramer, what kind of malarkey are they handing me now? Don't you see, O'Finn? They're playing games like hide and seek, and you're it, pal. It's simple. It's like they said. One of them committed the murder, while the rest of them hid their eyes. Sure, isn't that the usual way murders are always committed? They're too dangerous to run loose. I'm gonna call the Padaway and have them all locked up. You can't do that, Dennis. You've got to have evidence. Well, what evidence do I have? Well, we still got Exhibit A, a bunch of broken cups and saucers.
You see how cooperative we are, Mr. O'Finn? We saved those for you.
You're lucky you did, or I would have had you in the clink for destroying evidence.
Is it really evidence?
Of course it is.
A clue?
That's right.
What does it mean?
That's what I'd like to know, O'Finn. What does it mean? Well, it's just that she dropped him in surprise when she's discovered the first body. You see? So what? Now, the funny thing is, here are these dishes, cups, and saucers broken. The Hildegard wasn't short of any dishes. And the day of the first murder, when I stayed and had tea with you ladies, Miss Hildegard brought out another set.
Oh, yes, I brought out my best tea set for you, Mr. O'Finn.
I see, your best. And these must be your best here on the table now, I suppose.
Oh, no, they're my second best. But I'll be using my best ones every day now that you'll be boarding here with us, Mr. O'Finn.
Because every day will be a special day.
Hold everything. Don't be getting me off the track. Now, your very best set are still in the cupboard. These here on the table are your second best. And your third best must be these ones in the box right here. Aha!
Are you on to something, O'Finn?
I may be, Kramer. I may be at that. Let's have a look at this stuff. Do you notice anything funny about this junk?
How do you mean?
You'll never make a detective, Kramer, my boy. Don't you notice anything missing?
You mean there's some missing pieces?
That's right. Some very important missing pieces. There are no handles for any of these cups. Miss Birdie, I have a question to put to you.
Mr. O'Finn.
Tell me something about this house. On days that are not special occasions, on days that you're not having company, do you usually drink from cups without handles?
Oh, no, Mr. O'Finn. That would be late enough.
Tell me then, why did it happen that on the day of the first murder, Miss Hildegard brought out cups without handles?
I don't know.
I'll tell all of you why Miss Hildegard brought out cups without handles. Because she knew she was going to find a dead body, and knew she was going to pretend to be surprised, and drop those dishes. Miss Hildegard Hodge, I arrest you for...
Was it really you, Hildegard?
It was really me.
I would have never thought it. The cup had a isn't Mr. O'Finn clever?
Oh, yes, marvelous. Mr. O'Finn, are you going to take Hildegard to jail?
Will you take me in your car, Mr. O'Finn? Do we have to take Mr. Kramer along?
Oh, Hildegard, you're the lucky one. Now I wish I were guilty. If I just had the nerve, I would give anything to ride Mr. O'Finn in his car.
Oh, yes, me too.
No, actually, Mr. O'Finn,
Well, that's how it happened, Captain.
But you got your murder. Why should you want to resign?
Well, I want to be brave. The thought is a neat bit of deduction, if I do say so. Well, I got my murder, and I won't be going back to that house anymore. But Captain, do you remember what happened the last time when I started to ignore him? Don't you see? Now they're going to be getting jealous of Hildegard and be committing murder just approve my transfer, Captain. Ladies, I said, if there's any more murderers, you'll only have the attentions of Mr. Kramer. As of today, I'm transferring over to the arson squad.
Hey, old Finn, you in arson yet?
I don't know. What about it, Captain? Am I an arson?
You're an arsenal, Finn. Transfer is approved.
Well, I wanted to be sure, because I just heard it on the shortwave. Big fire, old house, right across the street from your apartment, old Finn.
That's it. Thanks a lot for coming out. On behalf of the school, I think we'd like to thank Sarah. You'd like to say a couple of words on behalf of our director?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that on behalf of the cast, we'd like to thank you all for coming out, and even more importantly, we'd like to thank Mr. Gill for being such a good and patient director, which brought the people with us.